Hello and welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show. I'm Cody. That's Ryan. It's afternoons with Cody and Ryan. And Ryan, the Pirates won, but they still made history today.
History, but a series win, Cody. And we're giving away sandwiches on an afternoon game, so we'll take it. We'll take it.
We'll take it. We love giving away sandwiches. Something we don't do that often, Ryan, you and I.
Probably would help if I pulled my mic up here.
There you go. I think we can still hear you. You're
All
good.
right.
But anyway, the Pirates win today, take the series, as Ryan said, 3-1 against the Reds. And Hank Davis had a day. Andrew Heaney had a day. They looked like a ball club a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, it was. I mean, like you said, they still got history for the 26th straight game of 4 runs or less that they scored. But when you're constructing a narrative for the 2025 Pirates and to win a game, this is it. Starting pitching, bullpen had to be perfect today, and they pretty much were. And they scratched a couple runs out, and they won a game, and they won a series. So it was good to see. It was different from the usual. I was running out of material.
I know, right?
Basically, Cody. Last week, the 2 post games I did were brutal.
Yeah, I remember the last time I did a post game with you. I was like, I don't know what else to say. I was thinking the whole game, what else do I say about this team? But hey, now we get to talk about a win, and you know what that means, Ryan. Get those hashtag raisins in the comments for your chance to win Primanti Brothers sandwiches for free from us. Just got to put hashtag raisins in the comments, and we'll be giving those away at the end of the show. And for more housekeeping here, we got BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in the action with the latest odds, news and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head on over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. And Ryan, the game started out pretty good. Like, they were hitting the ball. I was shocked.
Yeah, they came right out, scored a run in the first inning. They had 9 hits today, which we've seen a couple games where they have like 6 or 7 hits and they only score like a run or get shut out. So with 9 hits to score 3 runs, not the greatest model of efficiency, but I mean, we know what this offense is. It's a struggle. And if you get a couple runs, I mean, when it was 2-1 and Andrew Heaney came out of the game, it was like, well, his bullpen has to be perfect. And that's just the reality of it right now. And Heaney had a good start. He wasn't perfect by any means. I mean, he wasn't efficient, 97 pitches just to get to 5. Walked a couple, 3 hits, gave up 1 run. But it's just kind of more what we've seen from Heaney this year. He's been great. And it was just a recipe the Pirates needed to win. And hey, 2 in a row, Cody. If they win tomorrow, it's called a winning streak.
That's what I hear they call it, right?
Happened before, I think.
I was waiting to see if we could get that reference in.
Oh, always.
But
especially this season,
Heaney comes out and he does Heaney things. I mean, it wasn't stellar. It wasn't stellar, but it was what you needed, right? And it wasn't bad. So, got to be happy with Heaney today. I think you said it. 4 strikeouts. He did let up 2 walks, which, I mean, whatever. But he only let up a run. And, with these Pirates, you let up a run, you might lose a game.
Right. That's what I sent the tweet out when the Pirates scored 1 run, is like, they're like, okay, our job is done here. Good luck. Good luck, Andrew. Go get them. But hey, they added on a couple more runs, which was nice to see. But yeah, he's just been, I mean, it's absurd to, we say, this team's pathetic, they suck, and they do, but it's really the offense. And this pitching has been incredible. Like, the starting pitching has been absolutely incredible for a team that's lost Jared Jones. We didn't know, we were hoping Falter would be what Falter was last year, and he's been just as good. Andrew Heaney was picked up. Was great. Well, about Paul Skeens. Like, this starting pitching has been fabulous. And it's crazy to, you're saying, like, how could this, I think, like, our ERA in the last 15 games is something like low 2, which is crazy. And you're like, how could this team be so bad? But that's just how historically bad the offense has been. 26 straight games where they haven't scored 5 runs. So yeah, it's this is what they have to do to win games this year. And they were able, and it wasn't just, a couple scratched out runs in the pitching. The defense was there too, as we'll talk about it, with a relay from Tommy Pham to IKF to the tag by Davis. We'll talk about Davis throwing runners out. It was kind of a Henry Davis coming out party, finally.
Yeah, I was trying to find a stat that I saw earlier, and I cannot find it, but it was something that had to do with the Pirates pitching in May. And it's been spectacular. I think you mentioned they've had, as a team, a 2.12 ERA. And maybe that was over their last 14 games or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was the last 14 or something going into.
Yeah, I think that was the tweet that I saw. And somebody replied to it, and they were like, how many games did they win in those 14 games?
I think 4. That's
right.
That's what it's so frustrating, because the pitching, you can't ask for anything better. And the bullpen as a whole has it. I mean, the bullpen has been good, but like, you wouldn't look at the Pirates bullpen and think that's an elite dominant bullpen. But they've been piecing, clean innings together at most, a lot of the time. It's just been the hitting is so bad.
I was gonna say, as long as the manager, whoever it may be, doesn't have the what's the word I'm looking for? The urge, or the word's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, as long as Colin Holderman's not in the bullpen,
yes,
to be thrown out there.
Him being on a Phantom IL stint finally is that helps. That helps to create the not give them the, like you said, the urge to call him in the bullpen. But yeah, let's get into it. The Pirates start the scoring off in the first inning. They had a chance to really add a second run today, as Rebello sends like there was a debate on Twitter about this. So Hayes is coming up, and like Greg Brown even said in as the right fielder Hines is catching it, he's like, literally like, well, that's not deep enough to do anything. And it's like, well, they're gonna try it, and he was out, pretty easily. They just literally had to make a throw around, at least in the vicinity of home plate. And I get it. The reason why you send him there is because our offense is dog crap, and you're trying to make something happen. But hey, they had a couple hits in that first inning. It seemed like they were, it was a little contagious. They were finding holes. Yeah. I think you go from, there's a borderline of aggressive to just dumb. And I think it was just a dumb send there, but it could have been nothing right off the bat.
And a lot of the discourse that I saw was like, well, you want to force a throw. You want to force a play. If you don't force a play, then what happens? They're going to ground out anyway. And it's like, well, I think you could still force a throw and see if they mess up if he just goes like 2/3 or halfway down the line. Like, I don't think you have to go all the way. Like, he was going to throw the ball to home anyway.
Right. And it was shallow. I mean, that's right. I mean. It's one thing if you got a questionable arm out there and you want to make him beat you to make a throw. I mean, that was a pretty standard throw to home. And they executed it, and he was out by a good amount.
Yeah, that was a play where I was just like, typical Rebello. Like he's gonna send him anyway, but maybe you should have left him on. And you said Hayes was up next, and Hayes had a decent game. Maybe he would have found a gap, and you get another run. But
Right.
that aggressive, you toe a line there. You toe a line between aggressive and stupid, and they wavered to the way of stupid there, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, it's just, and like I said, I get the strategy behind it or the theory behind it, but
Right.
it just it's
And like
trying to pull a move when
if you
right
had
there
a
when
different
you're really not
base
there.
runner too, like if it was a different base runner, like IKF is not a speedster. Like even if it was Spencer Horwitz on third, maybe I'd be like, all right, like he's young, he's got legs, like. But a guy like IKF, I just don't see a reason to do that.
Nope. I agree with you. But hey, so the offense, we talk about not getting hits, but they kept adding on. So fourth inning, Hayes walks, Adam Frazier with like a multi-hit game.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you the last time he did that, but it was like vintage Adam Frazier. He singles. So you have runners at first and third, no outs. Of course, Tommy Pham comes up and strikes out. And that was predictable.
yeah,
But hey, Henry Davis comes through with the RBI single, which was, the game-winning RBI hit at that
yeah.
time. And hey, Henry Davis had a good game, and
Had a
I've
great
ragged
game.
on him for a while this year and last year, and but I'm sure it felt good for him to get that single, to get the hit. He looked pumped up when he got the first base and everything. So again, we're at this weird spot where it's like Davis has been playing 1 or 2 times a week. He's catching skeens, and really
Right.
that's it. But I mean, at this
It's.
point, Cody, like the team's going nowhere. Like you should
I think we're on
probably
the same
play
page.
him.
We're on the
Yeah, like
same
play him.
page. We're like, you got to see what you have at this point with him, right? We've been saying that from the beginning of the season. I feel like you got to play the guy. He had a
Yeah,
great game today. I don't know what Donnie Kelly's going to do, but I know if it was Derek Shelton, he'd definitely be sitting tomorrow for having a great game.
right.
But yeah, at this point with Henry Davis, it's like keep playing him. Even if you throw him at DH, if you teach him how to play first, whatever you got to do, you got to see what he's got at the plate consistently. And then once you have a good sample size of a month or two, then you'd be like, all right, I think we got to move on. Because like you said, you're not playing for anything right now.
Yeah,
So if anything, just play to see what you got next year.
right. Doug said it a couple post games ago. Like we're looking for answers at this point. Like we
Yeah.
want answers on Henry Davis. Can you rely on him moving forward next year? So that's what you need to find out at this point. And if it comes at the expense of, do you DH Bart, and not see, it goes at the expense of Kutch getting at bats.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, Kutch has kind of been in a bit of a lull himself, as everybody in this offense has. But they're in a tough spot because you can't send Henry Davis down to AAA. We've seen him rake down at AAA before many a
Yeah.
times. And it's like, you get more consistent at bats and play every day, but we've seen him rake AAA. Like, I don't know what he's really getting out of going down there and playing. So might as well let him get major league at bats more consistently. So that's what I would do. And I mean, look, Bart's been shaky behind the plate. I think that's
Yeah.
obvious. And he's basically just been a singles machine. Now he's been fine. His numbers overall, like his OPS, like the numbers are fine, but Bart hasn't really been, he's not like, slugging 10 home runs on the year. So I
Yeah.
think he has one. So yeah, I would play Davis more at this point. The season's going nowhere. Just get him in there.
Yeah, and I mean, as we said, he had a great game. He was 2 for 2 with a walk. He played great defensively today. He had to strike him out, throw him out. That I got hyped up about that. I was like, "Let's go, Hank."
Yeah.
I think I tweeted. I said, "Hank Davis, baby." I was so hyped for that strike him out, throw him out. And then he had, I guess they were calling it. I think John Wayner said the Statue of Liberty play there with the relay home.
Yeah.
that was a good play. I was corrected in the group chat because I just wanted to rag on Tommy Pham and be like, he's slow. But it ended up being a great play.
It was. And what did Jim say? He was faking steer out.
Yeah, he was faking
to get him
steer
to
out.
run.
But at first, I was like, that was the most boring relay to home I've ever seen. But then, I took a step back. I took back my bias on Tommy Pham, and I was like, all right, that was a good play.
But I see what you were saying. Like it did seem like it was in slow-mo. And I
Yeah.
think any time when those like relays, when you're like, get the ball to home, it just kind of like seems like that. But
Right.
while they may have been slow, like they made the perfect throw, they hit their guy, and then IKF made the perfect throw to home. And Davis, we saw it, was it last week? He had that awful tag or awful sort of tag, non-tag. Today, he was in position, caught it, boom, had the perfect tag on. So I hate that when the players and you see it now with replay because everything's slowed down and it's just overanalyzed. But guys will go for the body to make that tag. And it's like, dude, just put your glove down in front of the plate. Like he's not going to get past your glove. It's going to hit your glove first. So it was a lot better than it was last week. It was just like you said, it might've been slow, but it was the perfect relay.
I think what I said in the group chat was like, how can they make a good play look bad? Like that's how it felt. But it was a great play.
It was, look, I don't know what to say. It was, they pitched well today. They scored runs, not many, but they scored runs.
We don't know how to talk about wins.
They played good defense. I really don't know how to talk about that because we rarely see that. Good tags, good relays, fundamentals, throwing guys out at second, trying to steal. So yeah, the defense and the pitching, they were as good as they needed to be today to win. That's what this team has to be.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, we're a little all over the place. I feel like it's my fault. But let's get back to the pitching.
Yeah.
Sugart came in for an inning. Heaney came in and got 2 outs. He didn't look phenomenal. I think he hit who was that he hit? Hit somebody on the foot, and it was bad. Ferguson came in for 1 1/3, and then Santana gets the save again.
Oh yeah, it was Will Benson. Yeah, he had
Benson was the one he hit.
Foot.
But this bullpen as a whole today, like you said, Ryan, they had to be perfect, and they were damn near close and helped us out.
Yeah, and I mean, you knew going in, Bednar was probably unavailable. He pitched back-to-back games.
Right.
Santana went yesterday. The bullpen overall was rested, but you knew you were going to guys like you were going to have to go to Sugart or Tanner Rainey, especially when Heaney only went 5. Like you knew these guys were going to have to come in there, and it was a 1-run game. So they got to be perfect. And like I said, our bullpen's not elite, but they've been fine. Like they've been good. And they're just this pitching continues to keep them in games that they don't belong. They don't have any right or deserve to be in because we don't score any runs. And they played it perfectly. Like you said, Rainey, he's a little shaky. Even Ferguson as of late hasn't been that great.
Right.
But he came in and pitched a clean inning. And then Santana, man. I mean, Santana I had to look it up because he's been so efficient. So what did he threw today? What was it? Like 14 pitches, I believe.
Today?
12 pitches.
12 pitches.
So all season, the most pitches, he's only thrown more than 18 pitches twice. He was in the 20s twice. But besides that, it's like 10, 11, 11, 12, 14, 9, 8, 12, 13, 14. Like that's dope. He's Mr. Efficiency.
That's dope.
Here. And he came out, he shut the door down. And yeah, Santana, man, has been really efficient. It's crazy to think of, because we know about Bednar, we know about Holderman, we know they didn't re-sign Chapman, who pretty much was a big save of the bullpen last year. Yeah. I don't know where they'd be without Santana.
No, Santana's been great, and I just we got a little worried last night, right? Because they put Santana in first and then went to Bednar. We're like, whoa.
Which I liked. I like that.
I don't mind switching it up. Like, today's Dennis's day to get the save. Tomorrow's the day for Bednar if he's set up. Like, I don't mind that. Hopefully that's kind of what it is. But I do still get nervous with Bednar. I feel more comfortable with Bednar in the 8th inning than I do the 9th inning. And I think from what we've seen of him in the 7th, 8th inning so far this year, he's been a little comfortable in that spot, a little more comfortable in that spot as well.
But
So
as of recently, like if it's a save opportunity, Bednar, I don't know, he seems to pitch better in that spot. He's been better since,
no,
the
yeah,
last
he
like couple
has.
weeks. But like, and I think the guys talked about it. I think Donardo and Tyler talked about it yesterday. Like, there's no one else besides
Right.
like Bednar. Like, they need Bednar to be David Bednar.
Yeah.
If they had signed somebody else or brought Chapman back, and maybe Holderman wasn't like like Bednar just being Bednar again would have been just like a cherry on top. But like at this point, they kind of need him. Like, you're not going to
Yeah.
Joey Wentz in that situation. You're not going to Rainey, maybe Baraki, but he's it's just like you just really don't have anybody else. So like they need him to be that. So I always say that like too, like if you're up 1-0 or 2-0, and it's the 7th or 8th inning and the first guy, like even if it's a jam or like bring your best guy out.
Yeah.
Because if you bring Bednar out or Holderman, which they've done a lot, and he blows the game, then Santana's just sitting in the bullpen, like not doing anything, which we saw him not pitch for like a week. So I like kind of going to him first and just saying, let's keep this lead, and then we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out after that. But yeah, today he was in the save role, and he was great again.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's just kind of like what Tyler said last night is I'm still shaky on Bednar. I want him to be back. I want him to be the guy. He is one of our top arms in the bullpen. I just don't know if I'm comfortable putting him in the save spot. Whereas Santana this year, he's been pretty much lights out in the ninth inning. So that I lean towards, the what have you done for me lately kind of mentality of Dennis Santana hasn't given me a reason to be nervous yet. So that's why I prefer that over Bednar. But like I said earlier, if you do flip-flop days on who gets what day of whatever save, whatever, I'm fine with that too. Because like I said about Henry Davis, got to figure out what you got, right?
Right.
So experiment a little bit.
And I didn't see last night. I don't know if anybody asked Kelly about that decision. It almost, because Santana hadn't pitched for like 5 days.
Yeah,
So
me and you were like, what's going on?
it was almost one of those, like, Kelly was just like, I'm putting him out here before somebody else blows it and I can't pitch him. Because obviously,
Right.
like they want to wait until they have a lead. That's when you pitch your back end guys. And they just really hadn't had that chance. So I think, I don't know if that was just like he's just like, let me go to him first, just so we keep this lead, and then we'll figure it out. He's like, I talked about the pitch count. He's so efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing him go 2 innings every once in a while. It doesn't have to be every time, but if you got a slim margin and you got a lead, which this team does when they have lead, it's usually a 1 or 2 run game. Like if it's 8th, 9th, maybe pitch him twice. Pitch him 2 innings and see what happens. Because I just feel his pitch count is he's so efficient. He really could go to. So yeah, I wouldn't even mind.
He's done that before, has he not? Like I think even last year we've had him as a 7th, 8th inning guy. Or
this year he really hasn't. He's had
one.
But
last year he did.
He had one multi-inning game on April 9th against the Cardinals. That was it. And it was 2 shutout innings, and they won 2-1. So there you go. They did it once. So yeah, so I wouldn't even be opposed to that at this point, because your back end of your bullpen right now is it's sparse.
Yeah, until they put Majinski back there, which doesn't look like that's going to happen. But
God, don't bring it up. I don't want to talk about it.
But
I
anyway,
mean, like it's like, let me just get it's like Carmen Majinski wanted to be a starter. Hey, now does he still want to be a starter? Like, guess what, Carmen? You're going to go to the minors to continue to be a starter. Like, is he still cool with it? Because that's what I want.
Right. It's like you had 2 choices: throw a wrench into your career path, or be a potential all-star. And he chose the wrench.
Yep.
But
the starters make all the money, Cody. So
whatever. Could have went to the all-star game or something.
And there you go. Mike says here, Money Moretta is close. Yes, he is. He would be a nice boost to the bullpen for sure. So I'm looking forward to that.
Can't wait to see Money Moretta. But let's get to the less entertaining part of this team. That was actually entertaining today. The batters.
I thought this game was, for a 3-1 game, it was pretty entertaining.
Right. Like you said, I'm not used to that when it comes to baseball these days. So Cruz 1 for 4, IKF 1 for 3. Reynolds still in a slump. Horwitz didn't do much. Canario.
Horowitz ripped a ball. I mean, when Singer was trying to get through 5, they were knocking him all over the ballpark but Hines was jumping off the wall and making they were hitting him right at somebody.
Yeah.
And Horowitz had a barrel, but it was just straight at Hines.
Cruz had a ball that should have been a hit like that, where Hines just last second redirected where he was going and caught it over his head. Yep. I don't know how hard Cruz hit that ball off the bat, but it should have been at least a base hit.
And Reynolds hit that one to like dead center, was in the warning track that they caught. So but again, 0 for 3 for both.
Yeah.
But how about the back? How about the back of the bottom of this lineup?
Let's talk about that first, because I think Jim did mention that in the comments. If I could go back and find it, they had 6 hits in total. They were
six for 10, and then if you add in the 6-hitter Hayes, they had 7 hits, 7 for 13, I guess. So we have not seen that from the bottom of the order, Cody. So this was kind of jarring, to be honest.
Right. And it was nice to see. I mean, even like I said, I don't like Tommy Pham, but Tommy Pham 2 for 4 today. He got on base. Frazier 2 for 4 today. The old guys just putting in work today. It was refreshing to see.
Hayes had a double, scored twice. Yeah, Davis 2 for 2, and he had a walk, and had the game-winning RBI. So hey, at this point, the most minimal game from Henry Davis is a positive, and today was a really big positive. And hopefully, all the cliches, hopefully he's got some momentum. He's got his confidence back. He's feeling good after a game like this. So hopefully that continues. Seeing him do well over this next month, 2-3 months, and the rest of the season would be awesome.
Yeah. Now, the negative, I got to bring up the negative. They left 8 men on base. Not the worst we've seen from this Pirates team. They've left many more on before.
Yeah.
But 8 left on. Don't like to see that. But it is what it is, I guess. Oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up, that I saw Jim tweet this. The Pirates had three barrels today, at least to that point when he tweeted this. All 3 outs.
Yeah.
And 2 of them, they all had expected batting averages. They all had expected batting averages over 600.
Yeah, because Cruz had 114 miles per hour. Horowitz was 106. Reynolds was 105. And I think those Horowitz and Reynolds, I think that was both in the 5th when Singer was Singer was done.
Yeah, and it's just I forget where I saw this discourse on Twitter, or who mentioned it, but maybe it was Dan Zangrilli. He was just like, the Pittsburgh Pirates fan base and the Pittsburgh Pirates are just the unluckiest team right now. Even off the field, where you got Jones who got surgery today and should be back in 12 months. But those 3 barrels, not finding gaps, not finding the grass, not finding seats. It's dang, they're mashing at times, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can. Like I said, I don't like to throw out excuses and all that. And I know other people, have said it, and they'll say, "Hey, Hayes is just getting unlucky, or Kutch is just getting unlucky." But I mean, those 2 were unlucky. So here's the expected batting average. Cruz was 780, Horowitz was 630, and then Reynolds was 950. 950 was the expected batting average. So yeah, it was. They were teeing off on Singer at that point, but it was all right at somebody. And credit to the Reds, it was at them, but they also made the plays out there in defense. So, but I mean, again, we talked about this streak of the 26 straight games in a row. Yes, did they get unlucky at times and throughout the streak? Sure, but the streak wasn't fluky. It's who they are. They're just not a good offense. Frazier and Davis and Pham aren't going to have 6 hits very many games the rest of the season. So.
Right.
So unlucky at times, but they also just aren't very good.
Right. Well, what else is there to talk offensively, Ryan? I mean, we kind of covered it all, and I even brought up the negative.
Right. I was wondering where you're going with the negative, but But I mean,
Right, there wasn't much today, but I got it. I don't like seeing that number above like 5.
right.
Like I could deal with having 5 men left on base. That's fine. That means you probably at least scored 4, right? You at least
Right.
scored 4, right?
When you have 9 hits and most of them are singles, it's you're going to leave some guys on because unless you're stringing together 4 or 5 hits, like you're just not going to score multiple runs in an inning. So, and they didn't do they scored 3 runs today. It was all 1 run in 3 different innings. So
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the script for the rest of the season. Like Horowitz is here. We'll see what he can do. Like I think what we've seen from Horowitz, he had 2 hits last night. He barreled one today, which, like we just said about the expected batting average. I think it's positive what we've seen from Horowitz. We actually have a first baseman playing first base, which is nice. And so I like that, but it's just Connor Griffin's not showing up tomorrow to help this offense.
I wish.
We're going to trade some people at the deadline. Most like pitchers, probably Andrew Heaney, who pitched today. But those guys are, I don't know if they're going to bring back major league bats, this year. So no one's really coming to save it. So this is the script from here on out: is win 3-1, 2-1, 1-0 games like last night. So
unfortunately, well, Ryan, the people have spoken. They want us to give out the sandwiches already.
They're tired.
They're tired of hearing us.
Yep. Hey, it's been a struggle this year. So this is 2 in a row we get to give them out. So let's do it. How many
folks, get those.
How many we got so far?
Raise it's in. We got 98 entries so far.
Let's get that to 100.
Let's get that to 100. I'm not doing this till we hit 100, Ryan.
All right, we're waiting.
Do you have any
hashtag?
We got 99.
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
One more. We need one more, folks.
We even got Steph in there.
There we go.
With the
Steph came in with it. Steph's been watching on the couch outside the office here. Well, we got our 100. Let's go for it. Our first of 2. 102. Let's go. Who's winning the first one? The first set of sandwiches. The first pair. First couple. Lisa Enfinger. Lisa, congratulations.
Lisa's a good friend of mine from Florida. So I'm telling you, she texts me even nights when I'm putting my kids to bed and I'm not able to watch the post games. She's texting me like, I'm trying to get sandwiches, and she always comes up short. But hey, congrats, Lisa. It's finally paid off.
There you go, Lisa. Happy for you. Now let's give out 2 more. Let's see who we got.
The people are eating this week, Cody.
Oh, the people are eating this week. Got Corey Adamson.
Corey,
congrats.
So again, if you guys, Lisa and Corey, download the Primanti's app. Get at us on Twitter. You can email us northshore9@gmail.com, and we'll have that uploaded to your app, so you get your 2 free sandwiches.
Yeah, just email us, do the thing. But hey, if you didn't win today and you're in the Pittsburgh area this weekend, head on down to the tailgate. Starting at 12 noon on Saturday, we got free Primanti Brothers sandwiches for everybody. There will be plenty. Last year, we had too many. I tried giving them to a homeless guy. He didn't want them. I didn't know why. But
yeah, what's up with that?
If I remember correctly, we did. We asked the guy that was like sitting on the side of the road. We were like, "Do you want these sandwiches?" He's like, "That's too many sandwiches." I was like, "All right." Okay.
You may even get tired of sandwiches.
Right. There's gonna be too many sandwiches.
But no, seriously, the tailgate is always a good time. The Pirates are getting hot just at the right time for the tailgate with the Brewers coming in. So Saturday we'll be down there, like Cody said, at noon. Just RSVP. The link should be in the description here on the show, and that way we know how many we need, and they're free. So you'll get some sandwiches and hang out with us. And I think it was in our Discord. I think it was Crab. He said, I can't wait to go hang out in a parking lot and drink with a bunch of strangers. He said that's his Super Bowl. So let's do it.
The tailgate's always a ton of fun. It's one of my favorite things that we do. So I hope to see everybody there.
Are
If
you
you want
heading?
to,
When do you get into town? Tomorrow?
so since I didn't realize Donardo got us some special seats for Friday, he got 4 tickets.
Yep.
I am changing when I'm leaving. I'm leaving very early Friday morning and I'm going straight to PNC Park.
Oh, okay. I thought you were coming in like tomorrow. Okay.
No, because I have to work 2 days this week. I got 2 days off. It was a struggle getting those 2 days off, but I got them off.
Yeah, you're a little late, Connor, but we appreciate it.
Sorry, Connor, but hey, I'm sure you might be there. You were there last year, so
Yeah,
I'm
Connor was
assuming
there
you'll be
last
there.
year, so yeah, he come. So not only the sandwiches, you go get a picture with Doug. Doug will be
Yeah,
there.
Doug
I
will
mean,
be there.
that's right there is worth something.
Unfortunately, Neil will not be there. We were gonna get a dunk tank for him and everything, but Neil will not be there.
Maybe we can get Derek Shelton to come out instead of Neil.
Oh, that'd be
What's he
great.
doing right now? Come on.
Right. Give him a few $100, he'd do it. But yeah, no, it should be a great time. I hope to see all of your beautiful faces there. Steph, did you see what Steph said?
There you go. Pictures with Cody. I'm telling you, man. Get the autograph going.
Payable to her though. She makes profit
Well,
off of me.
of course. Of course.
I'm
That's
just an
smart.
object.
That's right. You're just the talent. That's all. You just show up and smile.
Thank you, Crab. Yes, Gold Lot 1. It's where we had
There
it
he is.
last year. We
I'm
did
telling you,
forget to
Crab said
mention
this
that.
is his Super Bowl, so he's ready.
Well, I'm excited. And if you guys want to support us, you can become a member on YouTube for just 99 cents a month. You get all these cool emojis. I know Jim was using them. I'm sure a few other people were using them in the chat. And if you want to give us a little more, if you're like, these guys are so crazy, I got to give them more money. You can go to Patreon, become an MVP member for $4.99 a month. And that gives you access to our Discord MVP chat. You get put into giveaways every month. You also get a free koozie that we have 4 people who have replied to me so far on Patreon with their addresses.
I was like, those aren't koozies, what you just showed.
No, but that's what the koozies are going to be mailed in.
There we go. There we go.
So 4 out of our however many members have contacted or gotten back to me with their addresses so that I can send them free stuff. So,
boom.
Yeah, if you want free stuff, sign up for that. But until then, Ryan, I had fun. Did you?
Yeah, it was good time. Have fun Friday at the game. I'll be there Saturday, but won't. I might be doing the post game solo on Friday, so stand by for that.
This is the one downside of doing the tailgate is we can't figure out who's going to do a post game show.
Well, in Saturdays and Sundays, I believe we'll be from PNC Park, the post games, but just Friday with the fireworks probably wasn't going to be a good listening experience.
We are going to try and do them from PNC Park. I don't know how those logistics are going to work, but Donardo seems to know how it's going to work. So we'll let him figure it out.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's above our pay grade at this point.
Right. Well, anyway, folks, thanks for tuning
Appreciate
in.
you guys.
Podcast tonight with Neil Walker. He will be on with Tyler and Jim. Should be a great time. Neil, always a great dude. Anytime I see him, he says hi to me. I say hi to him. Great dude. But he's going to tell us some stories and probably give us his comments on the team so far in 2025. So be sure to tune into that at 9:00 tonight. And is it tonight or tomorrow? Am I an idiot?
It is tonight because they play tomorrow, don't they? Oh no, they're off tomorrow. So it is tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I don't even know now. Now you have me questioning it. Where's Jim?
I always do this. Yeah, where's Jim? He was just in here. He usually corrects me and we get on track,
All right, so no, the Pirates do play tomorrow night, so it is tonight.
Perfect. I was correct. No,
yeah, because if the team is off Thursday, then they do it Thursday, but it'll be tonight. So Neil Walker tonight.
Neil Walker tonight. This channel. Like, subscribe, be there, ring the bell. We'll see you later.
Peace, guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.